Hello friends, Jim Nance along with Phil Sims back here in Pittsburgh as we watched a much overrated Squealer team barely squeak out a win over the Cleveland Browns 31-28. The key to the game, of course, for the Squealers was the ineptness of the Cleveland coaching staff, mainly the play calling of Browns defensive coordinator Todd Grantham, and a very critical dumbass move with 3:28 left on the clock on the part of head coach Fat Albert Cannell. The Browns dominated the first two quarters of play, putting 21 points up, limiting the Squealers to only 3 field goals before going into the locker room at the half. But the outcome of the game was quite different indeed, as the bus ride back to Cleveland is sure to be a long one for the Browns. Phil, what the hell happened?
Hell's bells, Jim. It's as if somebody snuck into the Browns locker room and turned off the switch on Derek Anderson. After making the Steelers' defense look like Swiss cheese in the first half, the Browns sacked Pigpen 4 times today, and Browns linebacker Antoine Peete did a spot-on impersonation of Martha Fleischman and her Chrysler New Yorker as Roethlisberger tried to take a turn out of the pocket and got run over. You know, everyone has been calling this Browns team a different team than the one that got kicked in the ball sack by the Steelers at home in week 1 of the season, but somehow the old Browns reappeared and screwed themselves, as they didn't get a first down in the second half until way late in the game, with just minutes to go. The most pressing problem with the Browns is their defense, rated dead-ass last in the NFL thanks to coordinator Todd Grantham. If I were Phil Savage, this dipshit would be out of a job and walking back to Cleveland tonight. As statistics show, he is clearly not qualified for his position, and the long-suffering Browns fans deserve better.
I agree 100%, Phil. You know, today's game was not won by the Steelers, but rather lost by the Browns. What strikes me as a most dumbass move by head coach Romeo Crennel was the wasting of 2 critical timeouts simultaneously. You know, in all my years covering the sport, I've never witnessed such a retarded move by a head coach, even by Jerry Glanville. The Browns absolutely needed those timeouts if they expected to leave Pittsburgh with a win. And thanks to the idiocy of a so-called football genius with 5 Super Bowl rings on his fat, stubby meat hook, the Squealers get to put another orange and brown notch on their belt.
And you know, this has to be so frustrating for not only the players, but for the fans of the Browns, who are the most intelligent and loyal group of fans in the world of professional sports. This was supposed to be their week. There was a lot of hype in Cleveland, a celebration in the making, if you will, finally a reason to feel good about their team, reclaim some bragging rights. This was supposed to be the week that the Browns once and for all turned the corner and largely answered their critics by beating the most hated rival in the Squealers. But once again, Browns fans got their parade shit on, largely in part by a coach who has, in my opinion, overstayed his welcome to Cleveland.
Phil, what do the Browns need to do to stop giving away games, especially to inferior teams such as the Squealers and the Raiders?
Well, Jim, I think you can pretty much expect status quo from the Browns for the rest of the year. I say that because the coaching staff can't be fixed in a week or two. The only fix I see happening is for Crennel and Grantham to get their walking papers, and the season is over. There is a bright spot on the coaching staff of the Browns, and it's offensive coordinator Rod Chudzinski. I like what him and his staff have accomplished this year. Phil Savage should do anything and everything to keep him around for a long, long time, regardless of who the next Browns head coach is. But despite their coaching woes, the most important thing is for the players not to allow this game to put them into ass-dragging mode. They can't continue to play like a bunch of limp dicks. They need to put this game in the rearview mirror because they are going into a very hostile stadium in Baltimore next week against a pissed-off Ravens team that's lost 2 in a row and are looking to cheap shot their way to a win against the Browns. This young Browns team has gotten a taste of winning, and they need to stay focused and positive, not to save their coaches' jobs, but to save themselves.
I think you hit the pecker right on the head, Phil. So Romeo Crennel goes back to Cleveland to sit in the hot seat as the Browns snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, and the Squealers' dumb luck continues as they win 31-28. From Pittsburgh, I'm Jim Nance, along with Phil Sims, saying so long.